Hello everyone, welcome to kevinandfred.com. I'm Fred. Kevin's not here again. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, but the guy's got a busy schedule right now. He's a couple weeks away from having a baby. He was in Lake Havasu, Arizona this week. The guy's just running around like crazy, and I've just got him busy because I figure, he's not going to be doing much work for the rest of, for the whole month of November. We might as well keep him busy here in October. So anyway, thanks for watching today. I want to talk today around a pretty hot topic out there that has to do with behavior. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of us that are in real estate and even occupations outside of real estate, we're familiar with things like the DISC. We're familiar with things like the AVA. Some of us have even heard teachings and trainings on the quadrants, behavior quadrants. And I had kind of a discussion this past week around behavior and had some pretty interesting things that came out and some aha moments that I had. And one of the things that I've fallen into a lot of times is that it becomes very easy to give somebody a behavior assessment and then kind of try to box that person in because all of a sudden they behave this way, therefore they're always going to show up this way. One other thing that you see a lot with behavior assessments is that sometimes it becomes easy to focus on what people are not good at, where their weaknesses are, where they struggle because of their behavior, rather than focusing on their strengths. And for a moment today, I just want to talk around the power of focusing on people's strengths. A lot of times in our society, in our culture, in the workplace environment, in real estate, it's easy to talk around what people aren't good at. In fact, for those of us that know behavior assessments really well, it's easy to jab and make fun of people. Kevin and I do it to each other all the time, right? But the real power behind a behavior assessment lies when you understand somebody so well that you can focus on their strengths and put them in a position to succeed at the highest level based on their behavior and based on their strengths. A lot of times in working relationships or even personal relationships, we talk a lot about compromise, meaning that somebody needs to give in because this person sees something this way or thinks and operates this way, and another person thinks and operates this way. And so, let's just compromise. But when you really understand behavior, especially in the work environment or even in a personal relationship between you and your wife or you and your husband, it becomes less about compromise and it becomes more about allowing the other person, the other partner, the other individual in that relationship to shine and really take control, if you will, in the areas of their giftings, in the areas where their behavior causes them to be a leader. So for example, there's different things where in a business relationship, Kevin and I do things differently. I will rely on him for some things and he'll rely on me for other things. It's less about us compromising and finding a middle point and more about setting each other up for success to work within our strengths. It also shows up in your personal life with you and your spouse or you and your significant other. Rather than always looking at how you need to compromise because you think so differently, look at it from a position of, on this particular subject that maybe you're debating or discussing or not seeing eye to eye on, who maybe has a different perspective that's the more improved perspective? Who's more talented or gifted? Whose behavior lends them to be more of an expert in that particular area? So just want to encourage you today, don't get caught in the rah-rah of all the hiring process and the behavior assessments and all these things and focus on where people are weak. Rather, focus on their strengths. Put them in a position where they can succeed at a high level. And for those of you that follow the recruit select process, the RSTLM process that we teach at Keller Williams, make sure that you're not ever using somebody's behavior against them, but rather you're using it for them to propel them and your business forward in a big way. Thanks so much for watching today. We'll see you back here next month. My goodness, it's almost November. We'll see you next Wednesday.